Of course, the main matter on the minds of those in Venezuela right now is the health of their president. Hugo Chavez is due to be inaugurated on Thursday to serve another term, but he could be too ill still to attend while he battles cancer. His political rivals are demanding a new election if he doesn't show up. Let's talk about this with Pepe Escobar from the Asia Times Online. He's here to talk more about Chavez's health conditions. That may well affect Venezuela's politics. It's a big week there, isn't it? The government says the swearing-in ceremony is just a formality and it can be delayed. The opposition, though, says it wants an official court ruling over what's next if Chavez is not there for inauguration. The church has chipped in as well. How do you see the situation panning out this week then, Pepe?
Well, it revolves around a technicality, in fact. According to the Article 231 of the Venezuelan Constitution, he can be sworn in front of the Supreme Court. And it doesn't have to be this week. It could be in a matter of 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 1 month. The problem is his battle against cancer in Cuba. How much longer will he stay in Cuba? Will he be able to recover in Venezuela itself? Will he be flying, all the time to Cuba to consult with his doctors over there? So this poses a problem for the long run, in fact. We still don't know how this is going to be solved technically. Like, we're going to have Maduro, the vice president, in power for 30 days, and they call for other elections. Or everybody waits to see what's going to happen with Chavez Wells. The big problem, in fact, is what's going to happen with Chavismo. The people who are around Chavez have been around it for 14 years now. They know how to run the country, or as the critics would say, how not to run Venezuela. But in fact, Venezuela now is a success story in terms of a developing economy. It is a mix of Western capitalism. It is a democracy, proven, like all the elections are free and fair, and it has some bits and pieces of socialist experiment. In terms of reducing poverty, what Chavez accomplished, if you put it in perspective, is even more extraordinary than what Lula accomplished in Brazil, in fact.
Pepe, what about those front runners, the two men around him, Nicolas Maduro, Diosdado Cabello? They're putting a united front on at the moment, but there's a lot of speculation, a lot of talk. They don't actually get on that well. They're after each other's necks.
Yes, it's true, because they are part of different strands inside Chavismo. Like, Chavismo is not a monolithic thing like I would dare to say the Communist Party in China. There are at least 4 or 5 different factions fighting for power. And this is one of the problems if we have an unsteady situation in terms of Chavez health, because there will be an internal struggle for power inside Chavismo, and at the same time we're going to have more possibilities of foreign interference trying to, maneuver this process. And I mean especially our friends in Washington, who obviously will see an opening. Well, maybe this is the beginning of the end of Chavismo. Let's speed it up.
If there was some sort of snap vote taking place, what do you think would happen?
One of these factions, probably Maduro's faction, would win. Because don't forget that in the last elections, Chavez won with over 60% of the vote. And that's it. The absolute majority of the Venezuelan population is in favor of what's been happening for these past 14 years. So Chavismo without Chavez would remain in terms of developing Venezuela. The problem is who's going to be the faction to lead it from now on. And these people have no charisma. Just like the politicians in the opposition themselves, they also don't have charisma. So can you imagine? It's like if one of these days you lose Paul McCartney and there's nobody else to sing.
Yeah. I mean, why has there been so little information released about what's really happening with Hugo Chavez? We know it's some kind of pelvic cancer. We know he's been in for 4 treatments. But why has the official information at least been so scant?
This is not very good. This came from high above, in fact, and even the Cuban doctors are not allowed to speak. The communication between the
Is that because the prognosis maybe is just too grim?
Yes. This is, of course, most people now, we are all speculating about it, but it's true. We don't have a clear medical landscape of what's going on with Chavez. And then this is terrible in terms of how to run Venezuela from now on, and for the prospects of Chavez himself in the future.
As you said, a lot of questions raised there. Pepe, thank you for being on the programme. Pepe Escobar, the Asia Times online correspondent.